So my name's Ellen and I've been running with TMR since January. So I decided to become a run angel because we wanted to set up a running group in our village, which is Hill in Bristol. It's a really small village. And I basically noticed a lot of mums out running on their own, and it felt really natural to try and bring people together. I'd also been aware of TMR for a little while, having been on the Facebook page for a while, but not actually knowing, how I could get involved. So it felt really natural to set up a group in the village. And so I did the Run Angel training and went from there, really. I was really nervous the first time I led a run in the village. I was lucky in that the ladies from TMR came and helped me with the first run, so they were there to support. But I was so paranoid that nobody was going to turn up, or perhaps that I was going to take a wrong turn on my route that I'd meticulously planned. And actually, I was really worried about the warm-up and the cool-down at the end. I think that I must have clutched onto the warm-up cards for the entirety of the run, rehearsing what I was going to say in my head. And I really didn't need to feel so nervous because it was all fine, loads of people turned up, and it was really good fun. But I would just say it's really normal to feel nervous. It is a nerve-wracking situation. Being a run angel is really rewarding. So, the first thing I would say is that seeing people's progress is absolutely fantastic. We've got quite a few people in the village that are in our group who have never really run before, who have done a little bit on their own perhaps. Seeing the progress that they've made is invaluable, and seeing their journeys from sort of not being runners to now loving running and being complete converts is absolutely amazing. Secondly, I would say seeing the smile on people's faces at the end of a run is fantastic. So you can sort of go and meet for a run and everyone will be like, oh, I don't really fancy it tonight, or I've had a really rough week or a long day at work, or I wasn't really going to come tonight but I decided to, and we'll all go for a run, and at the end of that everyone's sort of massive smiles on their faces, feeling really happy, sort of congratulating each other, and are off to sort of finish the rest of their evening with a smile on their face, which is really good. And I think the other thing that is rewarding about being a run angel is just being able to represent TMR, so being able to spread the word about what we're doing and be able to get more and more people involved in the community that's TMR. Some things can be quite difficult about being a run angel. So firstly, it is quite difficult to keep momentum going sometimes. So what we tend to find here in our village is that we have a core group of people that come week in and week out, and they've been supporters from the start. We then have some ladies that come along, sort of dip in and dip out, or they'll come for a few weeks and they'll suddenly stop going. So I think really it's trying to keep momentum up, trying to catch up with those people when you see them at school gates or whatever, and work out why it is that they haven't perhaps decided to join up again. It's usually just because they've had a couple of weeks off and they feel like they've lost confidence and they're just a bit scared to rejoin. They've almost forgotten how much they enjoyed it. So I think just getting people to come back and convert them again is something that we try really hard to do. The other thing, I would say try and advertise your runs quite a lot. So apart from TMR on the Facebook page, we also advertise in our local group. So just our local village group. So just trying to keep the momentum up, the energy up, and try and remind people what you're doing to try and overcome that. The other thing is routes. So route planning. We live in a really hilly area, and also in the winter it's not particularly well lit. So trying to keep things interesting can be a bit of a challenge. It's a little bit easier in the summer when you've got more options in terms of where you can run. So that, I would say they're the main challenges. So through TMR, I have gained so much confidence talking to other mums, and also in my own ability to run, I guess. Not only that, but I've gained a running family in the village, and it is so nice to be part of a community like that, where everybody's looking out for each other, everybody genuinely cares about each other, and I just feel so honoured to be part of that, really. So I think a lot of mums feel as though they just haven't got time for regular exercise. And I think that, they often feel really guilty about taking that time for themselves by doing something like a running group. The other thing we find is that people just don't think they can do running, or they can sort of start up in an exercise group, or they don't feel confident enough to exercise on their own. So I think the really good thing about TMR is it's a really, really good supportive environment. Everyone really looks out for each other, and it's sort of providing women with that safe and supportive environment to get involved with exercise. So my top tips for leading a run would be to have a little bit of flexibility around your route. So obviously you're going to have a route in mind, but just bear in mind that when you turn up for your run, you might have some new people or some people that perhaps haven't run very much before. So have a small element of flexibility in where you're going, so you can adapt if you have to. Secondly, have confidence in looping. So I know you might feel a bit under pressure when you sort of shout loop and everyone's like, oh, do we have to? But it's your run, and you can see how the group is split, and you have to have confidence in getting that group back together. So don't feel shy or worried about asking people to loop. It's kind of, that's what you're there for. And thirdly, I would say relax and enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's actually your run and your time for yourself as well. And it isn't a high pressured environment. There's no need to feel nervous, and just smile and enjoy the time for yourself as well.